YouTube, how y'all doing? For those of y'all that are new here, I go by It's Your Boy. Today, first of all, where are my manners? I know it's been my fault. That's completely on me. I take full ownership of leaving this channel all dusty and unattended, and neglected. What other words am I looking for? Uncared for. Y'all get it. Anyways, I'm back now. Plan on being a lot more consistent with these reactions. Whatever topics that we end up going over, I want y'all to, talk to me in the comments. Catch me live. You know what I'm saying? Links all in the description. Go ahead and interact with those. But today, we have a conversation that's been kind of prevalent within the past couple months. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've seen anybody else really talk about it as much as I've seen it being talked about recently. But 9-to-5 workers versus streamers debate. What is harder? Now, in my opinion, this is dependent on a lot of factors, right? What kind of 9-to-5 do you have? Do you actually like your 9-to-5? Is the 9-to-5 job that you're working? Is it the job that you plan on working? You know what I'm saying? Is it a circumstance the reason why you're hired for this job, or is it something that you actually applied for and that like you went to school for, or X, Y, and Z? You know what I'm saying? Because like, let's just say somebody went to school for software engineering or computer science and they get a software engineering job. It might not be that hard for them because they don't went to school for it for X amount of years. You know what I'm saying? So they might be able to see streaming as a harder job, even though they're working 9-to-5. Or you could be somebody that's bitter at their 9-to-5. They don't want to be there dealing with a whole bunch of ignorant and problematic people. And you would give almost anything to just yap in front of a screen and hear people's opinions and, play the game and stuff like that with a camera in your face. At the end of the day, I don't see why we have to sit here and try to make everything a competition. But for the sake of conversation, I'll say that your average 9-to-5 is harder than streaming. With that being said, though, there's a skill gap when it comes to streaming. For your average streamer or average content creator, you don't have to deal with a lot of the BS that the higher end content creators do. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it.
How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your job is
chill.
dangerous.
You would have to go to work.
You can't leave
Went to school, and still...
and paid rent.
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice. You're
high. You're hungover.
Credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time.
I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
Special thanks to Jubilee for their idea. This is most definitely a Jubilee type of vid. But one thing I kind of want to notice or take note of right now, why are the people that are in front of these folks like kind of rude? Like these people are, I don't know if it's the heat of the argument or just the nature of these folks, but like a lot of them just seem like they really attacking folks just because they have a different opinion. But what else is new? Welcome to America. Stupid, bro.
What's up? How's it going?
Same old different day.
Okay. All right, so my argument here is that...
Okay. So round one, bringing in Lacey. Lacey has cultivated a substantial multi-platform audience with nearly 1.5 mil Twitch, mil Instagram, 2.3 mil. Yeah. Okay.
streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
See, that's
All right. Now, with this perspective, I will say that streaming is an easier job upon the assumption that you enjoy streaming. Since streaming seems like a more appealable, a more enjoyable job, then okay, you are willing to do more within said job rather than being at a 9 to 5 that you don't like. Right? So in that space, I can sit here and say that, okay, working a 9 to 5 is harder.
the thing is, you're right. You get up every day, you go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up, you go, you flip some patties, maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never
when you're
turns
a mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every
I was gonna say something about. I'm gonna shut
decision we
up.
make, every thought
You
we
guys
have.
got it made, man. I wish I had
We
it made
don't-
like y'all.
We don't have
I
to go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
Because
What's the
the
next
shit I
idea?
go through every-
Oh my.
Okay, at this point, they're kind of just like talking over each other. I'm gonna try to bring a little rationale into this, right? So, like I just said, old buddy over here is coming in with the perspective that he doesn't enjoy his job. Realistically speaking, he does not enjoy his job. While he does have an enjoyment for his job, he understands the difficulties that would deter somebody from streaming. But ultimately, he has fun doing it.
My God, I have to stream today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You guys-
high energy,
I wish I
24/7.
could be at home like you and get back and get paid
I don't
big
even.
money.
We're not even.
One thing that I also have to say about this is that it doesn't seem like they're listening to each other. Because if I was him and I just heard him say that we have to be high energy 24/7 for however long we stream, I'm not going to respond to that saying that I wish I could just be at home and kick my feet up. That has nothing to do with what he just said. Now, are there comfortable parts in the stream? Probably yes. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm sitting in a chair, making commentary about a video, putting my 2 cents into something that ultimately doesn't matter. Right? A lot of people wish they could do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fact. But to Lacey's point, there's more antics. There's more activity. There's more energy that comes into what he does. And that's what's allowed him to be at the platform that he's in. So he can't afford to sit here and just be chilling and do XYZ for an entire stream or whatever the case may be. Or the possibility that he can afford to do that without having some type of drop off is slimmer. Because at the end of the day, that's his livelihood. He gets paid for it, XYZ.
Even at home, we're walking around. We're
Man,
walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit
stuff.
I gotta slave just for not even 100,000 a year. I gotta work double overtime. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't
just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat spam.
Like that. Here's what, okay, that's gonna make me mad. Because for you to come into this conversation and genuinely have an opinion on your side, you're going to have to bring in substantial evidence. Now, considering that the demographic of the people on one group versus the other, the 9-to-5 folks are significantly older by average. They don't care about what spamming L's looks like. They may not even know what spamming L's really means. Right? You could have simply said you have to deal with other people's opinions and, things of that nature. But the way you just addressed it made it seem like it was the smallest thing on the planet. Like what I gotta worry about somebody spamming L's for? Like forget about them. No. That's the immediate response that these folks are gonna have towards that. They're gonna treat that like chopped liver. Nobody cares about that.
L's. Oh, this is boring. We don't like this video. We have to.
What did I just say? Look, this man putting making whiny faces. This whole string of folks is laughing. She looking at that whole group stupid. Everybody, come on, bro.
Imagine you have to be high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. That. Does not define shit.
If streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
I get called fat all the time.
Yeah. They don't want to put in the work. So they settle for 9-to-5s that they have to put up with so they can earn a livelihood. I feel like the conversation sometimes switches from what is harder to do or which is harder to what will you think would be most enjoyable. And I feel like people think that the two coexist with each other. If one thing is harder, then obviously you're not going to enjoy it that much. And that's not necessarily true.
Oh, so what? I can call fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat.
But those are your
whatever.
friends.
That's your homeboy.
Those are your friends. Look, I'm pretty sure me included, you included probably. If you got somebody sitting next to you or somebody in the next room, probably them included, they auntie included. Our friends like to make fun of us. I like to make fun of my friends. You probably like to make fun of your friends sometimes. Do you really mean it? No. Is it funny? Yeah. But that's because y'all are comfortable enough to know that I'm not really meaning this. Or if it's something about your looks, I don't care how you look for real. It's just a joke. If it hurts you, let me know. But if you don't want me to call you that no more, maybe do some things to change it. Holistically, of course. But I'm not even sure if that's the right word. But anyways, those are your friends doing that. You allow your friends to make fun of you, bro. You allow your friends to make fun of you. That's just how it goes. But for it to be coming from hundreds, tens, thousands of strangers across multiple different platforms, that can affect somebody's mental very heavily, because it means that this whole group of people shares the exact same opinion about me, and that pressure can be added onto somebody thinking that they need to change something about themselves.
Boys, though, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's a homeboy.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy, you right. But check this out. My nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
At the end of the day, that's what everybody here to do. Like that, I can respect it. I can
Oh my
respect
gosh, wait, we're seeing flags.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
That's fair. That's really fair.
So you raise your flag. Is there a reason?
Sarah is an
I
ex-chef.
was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children
I think Jason was about to say the same point that I was about to make. Everything you just listed, outside of the duration of time that you had to do so, they can do the exact same thing.
Every day.
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out.
Adapt, shut up. Cause you really about to make me mad in this situation. Because like, why are you acting as if these people know anything about what y'all do? This is an opportunity for education. You trying to make it seem like this minuscule thing to them is so big, is so relevant, but you gotta show them that. You can't just sit here and be like, you know who the Lacey Thugs are? Even if it is a joke, these folks are not going to take it as that. They know what thugs are. They know what thugs are, like actual thugs. Lacey's thugs. This is Lacey, and he has thugs. Okay, why should I be afraid if he looks like this? That's what the old folks are thinking about. That's what the old folks are thinking about. Maybe he's an undercover mob boss and he's got some hitters. That's the farthest of that extent that it'll go. But don't sit here and try to get people to run around acting like they know information when they don't.
Without 10 kids coming up asking for a picture. Do you know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that special?
That is difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
I mean, it is special.
Forever,
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have.
How? Nothing. Your job included lasts forever. You could get fired. You could get let go. People could stop going to your business. At the end of the day, you retire, right? Or like if you get the opportunity to retire and you take it, you retire. So even then, you stop working. A 9-to-5 is generally more secure than streaming because it offers steady income, benefits, and legal protections, while streaming is unpredictable, highly competitive, and income dependent.
Have that security that's going to last.
Oh, and income depends on viewer support and algorithms. That is very, very fair. Like you have to be on top of a lot of things in order to make it as a streamer. Understanding algorithms, understanding how things work, social trends, things of that nature. It's very rare that somebody blows up and maintains their platform without knowing these things.
Forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why
cook,
you gotta grind.
you have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do.
You would have to go
Get
to
up.
work.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would
Job.
you do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to go to work.
Oh! First of all, they're stupid for doing this. They're stupid for treating this like they just said a slur. She's making a point though. Like that's a certifiable point. Like if they weren't able to stream, they would have to go to work. But what does that prove about your overall point? Like you just made a fact, but where does that fact fit into how your perspective is the right one to have, or your opinion is the right one to have? Because you're already there, you're not streaming, you're not doing what you absolutely want to do, so you have to get a job, so it's automatically harder? No.
Did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But
and
no,
stuff
he
like
lost.
Bro, shut up, Adapt. You're using like the most minuscule things to bring up. Like nobody cared. Like
Everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever.
You're-
He would
you're-
have to turn
yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You can go cook over here, cook over there. You
could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still cook. You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
That's
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 local cans.
Adapt. What is wrong with you? We need to duct tape this man Adapt's mouth. We need to duct tape his mouth. Because every point you bring up is so like, it sounds privileged as shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds very privileged. It's like, oh, we have to use plastic forks instead of real ones. Like, come on, bro. You're bringing up very like the things that you're bringing up into this argument are very first world. When there are more like deeper issues that you can get into that will support your claims. Like,
I gotta make sure I get the 4 local can. And
Not to mention,
You have to do work. That's what we have to do.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you.
shout out to all my nurses.
35 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism back in the 60s and the 50s. People didn't give a rat's ass if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if I'm pretty sure her name was Rhonda. I don't know if Rhonda realized it, but she just admitted that she is a failed creative. Which means, regardless of why it was difficult for her to do, it was difficult to the point where she could not do it. Thus meaning it was harder for her to do or harder for her to find profitable than for her to go out and get a 9 to 5 job. So much so that she went back to school. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend of the older people kind of shooting themselves in the foot with these arguments.
My
Just a little
daughter.
bit.
You get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done it?
You get spoiled. Rhonda,
And this is where I start getting pissed off. So far, these people on the streamer side of things have been relatively polite. You know, this is a healthy debate. You didn't have to come back at me with that kind of sadness. You didn't have to. And then you got your old heads behind you egging that on. I'm feeling disrespect. I'm feeling a little disrespected. Because I wouldn't do you like that, so you shouldn't do me like that. So the fact that you doing me like that, I feel like I have to do something like that back. Or I have to expose it and make your point out. Now, whether or not that's the right thing to do, I'll have to deliberate within that, you know what I'm saying, once I take a couple deep breaths, but hey, chill on that.
Rhonda, your mama and daddy keep giving it to you.
Rhonda, I got a question for Rhonda. I got a question for Rhonda. Rhonda, have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30.
Did this man just compare racism to a subathon, bro? I know he's not trying to do that, But like the fact that he's like, yo, I get it. Racism was like real bad. Still is. You had to go to school. You had to do something that you really didn't want to do at the start of it. But have you ever had to do a subathon? 30 days straight of nonstop interaction with individuals for your own entertainment? I'm sorry, I can't look at you and participate in a serious conversation after you say something like that. I have to laugh a little bit.
3 days straight.
24
hours a day.
Day and night.
No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking
It's
about
not.
working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go
At least.
afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal life.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it
you
is
a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a 3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit,
never ran a
you
3-minute ad.
pass trays.
What
you
does a
short-
3-minute ad have to do anything? If you run an ad, the only person that's at a deficit is the viewer that doesn't have a subscription. That's it. I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of ads, I'm not at the point to where I can run ads. Y'all help me get there. I need y'all to pop up in these streams a little bit more often. Say what's up, interact with your boy, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We need to get these averages up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit affiliate over here on Twitch. You feel me? So y'all pull up and bring your auntie too, cause you feel me? Bring your auntie, bring your cool cousin. We don't want your stupid cousin, like the cousin that just be on BS. Only bring the cool ones. Only bring the cool ones. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'll shut up.
Handed.
Talk about the fake relationships that you have.
Oh my God.
Now
It's fake
think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this.
Bro, I'm not trying to clap somebody's auntie, bruh. I'm not trying to clap somebody's auntie. That's not even a conversation that we need to be having. I'm just saying we need to get more people in here. How you go from getting more people into the streams to me clapping aunties? Where is that correlation found? Freaking hornballs, bruh. Stop trying to project, bruh. If you want to go clap somebody's auntie, you go do that. You go do that. Bring your auntie, meaning you trying to hit her. Like I said, if you want to go do that, you do that. But don't project onto me, bruh. I'm just trying to get more engagement. That's all it is. Hornballs in the chat.
Imagine every little person, we call them parasocials. They judge your relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging you.
I got caught with my ex.
I got caught with my ex.
Boy,
and I got treated like a...
wouldn't agent know something about this? I'm not gonna lie. Parasocials seem to be a very, very real thing. A lot of people get on this internet and act as if just because I have a bunch of log time watching this person's content, or I'm in this person's Discord server, or I'm X, Y, and Z to this person's content, that I actually know this person. Newsflash. Unless you interact with these people in real life, without a camera present, without a chat present, and you guys actually talk and interact with each other in a person-to-person manner, you do not know these individuals that you see online. Now, you can have online friends, you can know of people, but to say that you know these people, or to be in a position to where you can act as if you know people or do things as if you know them, you need to actually know these people. Just point blank.
I was a pedophile for it.
But mental health. When you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you?
That's a hard thing to do when you have multiple different
And
people saying the
that's a
same
big
thing.
problem with younger people. You care about what people think. Social media.
Or if you
what
have
they
groups
say about
manipulating you to do certain
That's
things.
our job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh, brother.
A 24-hour open heart surgery versus a 24-hour stream. Both things are hard within their own rights, right? But there are certain things to take into account. Oh my God. Sorry I said your name in vain, but sure. But I just realized we're 30 minutes into this recording and we're only 7 minutes into this video. Let me shut up.
So we're saving thousands, you're saving one.
All right. Okay, let me. I know I just said all of that, but let me pause real quick to address what she just said. Open heart surgery for 24 hours has a very, very high margin of error. If you don't know what you're doing, you can very much well kill a person. Now, for a 24-hour stream, it is hard to keep a high level of attention or a high level of engagement within a certain amount of people. And that's hard within its own right. Right? That's the thing that makes it hard. The mental aspect, dealing with a whole bunch of people telling you to do X, Y, and Z, or telling you to interact with X, Y, and Z, even though you don't want to. A whole bunch of people making that situation a lot more difficult on the mental aspect. Meanwhile, in the physical, obviously, the 24-hour surgery is a lot more difficult. Since there's a higher margin of error, and that error has a lot of pressure on top of it, I say the open heart surgery is a lot more difficult.
All right, so you said 30-day subathon, right?
Yep.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your editors, your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
Let's be real here. As viewers, we are not here to see the cameraman. We're not here to see the producers. We are here to see the people that are on the camera giving us the content and entertainment to watch. So if they're not here, essentially we're not here. We're somewhere else. So you can't sit here and say that we don't say that the people on screen don't do the work. That's like saying that an actor doesn't do any work just because they're the person on screen. Right? Like, am I tripping saying that? But anyway.
No, because here's the thing.
Well, that's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
That's
It wouldn't
not
have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
I would even go as far to say, as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9-to-5s, right? These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you
See,
know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a year.
Why is she laughing? Bro, she's making me mad.
Okay. At least I'm not the only one that's getting mad, that's getting a little bit annoyed by some of these old folks. That's a 9-to-5 is a 9-to-5, like whatever, like regardless of what it is. You work an 8, 9, 10 hour shift somewhere. That still fits in the category. You could be working a 9-to-5 at a flea market. It's still a 9-to-5. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of makes it weird about having this conversation. A 9 to 5 can count to so many things, but streaming narrows that job down.
I actually feel like they're wrong.
Oh my gosh. I'm kind of scared for what Ron's about to say.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a 9 to 5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9 to 5 people to have a job because their pay is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to...
I'm afraid Ron just cooked. Like, he's cooking with hot grease right now. Like, having a stable income makes things a lot easier for you, regardless of what the job actually is. If you know that you're getting paid, you can at least bite the bullet and go into work and still find it being worth going to work. Now, if you don't know what you're going to get out of it, you're not going to want to do the extra things that go along with it. You're going to try to get the bare minimum, which may lead to bare minimum results. And even if you try to go over beyond, you might not feel like you get the outcome or the output that your input would, make you believe to receive.
To you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay. That's one aspect of it.
Working
right?
at Foot Locker, working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant.
We're talking about ideas now. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to start with though? But it doesn't
easier.
make. But
well,
you're not even. You keep switching it. So why don't you answer my question?
I'm not switching anything.
You 100.
He's most definitely switching it. It's not even necessarily switching it. He's just making it seem like Ron is switching the goalpost as if he can't have multiple reasons why he feels the way he feels. Like, he's almost penalizing him for having multiple pieces of evidence, which in any type of debate or argument would ultimately help you. The person with the most evidence would most likely win the argument.
100% are. Yeah, so how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what
stuff
is
that
difficult.
You need creativity. You need to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch YouTube.
Much YouTube.
So it's the same thing.
Absolutely,
so the people that you're entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this is entertainment.
Entertainment
but
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't
is
have
why?
any guarantees. Absolutely.
So do you truthfully you can sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that? I'm just using that because that's the best example. Is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means.
Oh my!
In the sense of
my goodness, brother! It's like it's like he's staying on the fence. Like, not even staying on the fence. It's like he's on one side of the fence, but he's not giving you any reason as to why he's there. He's just there because he feels like he needs to be there. He fits the demographic of everybody else that's in that same area. Like, I feel like it's more so about like old people versus young people at this point, because you're sitting here acting like you don't know what the definition of something being hard is. Like, I understand there are multiple different factors for something being hard, but for general speaking, something being hard, that means that it's something that's difficult to do. That's just it. It's something that is difficult to do, difficult to deal with, difficult to sustain. Anything that has a relative amount of difficulty, you would consider that thing to be hard. The more difficult something is, the harder it is. That's all it is. You're trying to make it seem, oh, what's the definition of hard? As if it's not all the same. Like,
everyday activity. Because some people around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, we have to do the same thing.
Right.
People do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No.
We deal with millions
When
of people.
you're creating that content and you have your phone,
Okay.
you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers and you're not
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which
any
is
type
later.
of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing, tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number
Okay,
of hours
perfectly.
that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me out.
Go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most
Sure.
important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Sorry, bye. See you later.
Seeing a lot of flags.
He's most definitely a dickhead for that. So you come up here and spew a whole bunch of nothing. Just like you come up here, spew a whole bunch of nothing, a whole bunch of nuh-uhs and no's. Meanwhile, not really giving too much of any of your own opinion as to why you believe the things that you believe. And as soon as you get the opportunity to leave, you leave without even hearing an individual out. You just wanted to go over there to be disrespectful at that point. That's what I'm thinking. Honestly.
What's your name?
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's right.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time.
That's the same
I
amount
come
of
home,
hours.
I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home, but if I didn't, I
Silky and Swag are stupid. Silky and Swag are very, very stupid. Silky and Swag are some stupid individuals. Because why did they look at each other as soon as she said that she had a girlfriend, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, that must have caught them off guard or something.
have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home.
Shout out
I'm
to
too
all my
tired to
folks,
cook.
man. Salute.
Fortunately, I have a
Salute.
beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Love who you love. You deserve respect, rights, and everything in between, regardless. Salute.
But if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job.
Right.
You guys talk about
You-
how
you
it's
got a
hard
good
because there's a
support
mental
system.
aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was
Okay,
very young when
10,000?
I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So
opportunities.
you're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple.
That's...
So you were saying like to go.
She just brought in the most like see, this is what a debate's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are, like, she's talking as if she is trying to get her point across, but she's also open to accepting a new perspective. That's what I can accept. That's what I like.
Go back to the beginning. You were saying like you can manage like. Your
Sorry,
time,
y'all.
like,
I'm over here
relationship,
looking
like,
to the
right, like,
side
you
because,
go home,
like,
you go home.
it looked like my
I fortunately
stream
have a
kind of
support
like
system, but I
taking
every
a
day
dump on
like ask
itself.
myself how I would
So
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything.
Why
fell
is-
off.
why was he about to dip his
Back-
toe in his
Real
food?
story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there. Every 9-to-5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system. I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making
It was
more than my
serious,
rent.
yeah.
So I was
You
losing.
were in the red every
I
month.
was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my
Bro, like, what's up with these old folks? It's really her. It's really her. It's really her. Him, like, he was being a dickhead, but it's really her. Why was she just snapping when bro said like his girl broke up with him? Hold on, bro. Hold on. Because
Across the
I'm about to
country.
start.
So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down.
I don't know if the bid is flipped or not. So right looks like left and left may look like right. But assuming that this is actually your right hand and there is no ring on that left, I can kind of understand. If this is how you act towards people, I can kind of understand. Like, bro, all this man does is have a different opinion than you. You over here talking about that girl made a good decision leaving you. You don't know any of that information. Like,
Where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
Okay, so I have a question. You said
Look,
that for the first 4 years you
look.
started streaming, you had
Oh,
no income.
Jason, bro.
How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege.
Wait. Two things happen. First off, I don't like how everybody just had like a collective realization with that. Like, old folks have a way of being disrespectful. They have a way. And it's very prevalent. Like, that.
You had no income. How are you
kinda
able to
just-
survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that
You live with your mom at the age of 16. Now, if we could put it into percentages, right? Obviously, the percentages vary depending on what area in the world that you're located in, but all things considered, right? All things considered, in the United States, how many people depart from their parents at the age of 16? Like, they move out the house at the age of 16 to start living on their own at the age of 16. Keep in mind, nobody's really supposed to be doing that because, like, you know, the legal age of an adult is 18. So that's a very steep hill to climb if you're trying to do all that stuff by yourself while not being the age of a legal adult. So like, all I'm saying with all of this is that this should have been assumed. This isn't like an aha or like, oh, of course type of thing. And with old girl saying that this is a privilege, that's supposed to happen. And I feel like you're trying to use the word privilege under the same definition as a blessing. Yeah, blessings happen, you know, like regardless of somebody being there or whatever the case may be. Like, let's just say having both parents in the household. Having both parents in your household is a blessing. To have that is a blessing, because you could live through life with only one parent in the household. You could go through life with none of your parents in the household. You know what I'm saying? So having those people present is a blessing. Now, with that being said, in an ideal or at least average, life, you're supposed to have both of your parents. Now, due to financial, relational, and, all types of other circumstances, you might not have your folks. But the thing is, those people are supposed to be there if everything is correct. So I don't understand why this is like
privilege.
That's privilege.
I don't understand how that is privilege.
But my mom. How's that privilege?
It's privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents.
Thank you for that. Like, this is stuff that's supposed to happen by average. It's not like a super crazy thing. Like having I don't know, metal utensils is a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Having a job is a privilege. Being able to go to a nice school or go to a Division I college or whatever the case may be, that is a privilege. You don't have to have that to get by, but you being able to be in those higher positions allows you to be in a higher position. You get higher resources, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So it is a privilege. So, like, I don't understand how you can equate having parents in your household to, like, something of that type of vein or that type of, like, likeness.
That would live.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and they have to take 9 to 5.
So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of people don't have families that support them or accept them.
But that's a whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So how did you move to LA?
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
You were with your mother?
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
That has nothing to do with it. You still had your mommy. Your mommy was there. Mom. Making sacrifices and sleeping in your bed with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a privilege. That is a blessing. A blessing doesn't necessarily have to be a privilege, but a privilege is always a blessing.
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it. I've definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know, because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure if you knew what you were going to do?
Nothing secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings, to have an audience. And even if you do lose all your followers one day,
Yeah.
even if
Let's
you
say I
lose,
lost it all tomorrow.
you still have residuals of your previous viral
But that's-
videos. Even if people are hating on
that's
you and
not
shitting on you,
necessarily-
that's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of $1,000s.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to
So
school.
were we.
You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
Oh no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. You're having Adapt be in front of this entire conversation now? No. I'm scared. I'm actually scared now. Because the way he's been acting in this vid has been very stupid.
How you doing, bro?
Good, how you doing?
Alex.
Gabe.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers. And you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it
you're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be able to get...
And you can also flip that and saying that your followers or the people that claim to be followers of you aren't going to be as supportive of you if you're not putting in good content. For example, if we take in R. Kelly, right? Objectively speaking, I, as well as a bunch of other people, can say that he has made great music. While he has done some very wild, irrefutable, and disgusting things, and has been possibly accused for even more, we can take the music and say, hey, this is good. Now, does him having a good catalog of music excuse him for the things that he's done outside of music? Absolutely not. But there are people here that are willing to cast those things aside because of the amount of good music that this man has produced over the course of multiple years. That's the exact same case that this older individual is talking about. He's simply saying that as long as you're able to do well, as long as you're able to produce good content, or at least good enough content, there are going to be people that stick around, regardless of what you do, right? Take Kanye. This man's been on a tear of reckless behavior, and there are still people talking about, hey, he still made Graduation. You feel me? Like, there's still people saying that. But with all that being said, though, that's not a good basis. That's not a good basis for anything, because you could also throw that back to somebody else's job. If you work in a big enough field, regardless of what you do, as long as you're producing, and like people aren't going to be put in a position to where they have to fire you because you're bad for business, then you're more than likely going to either continue working that same job, or you might just get transferred to another job, or you'll just have the opportunity to pick up another job that's relatively close to the one that you just left.
That loyal
Now shut up.
people that do follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay.
and years and
Okay.
years and hours of
Okay.
trust
All right.
and communication
Sacrifice.
and intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you.
Look,
That
the
you
things-
don't just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2
Of
million
course
subscribers,
not.
3 million
Of course
subscribers.
not. It takes work for sure. But like what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, like, you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. Like the mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with.
But it's heightened because of the amount of additional comments they have. Right? So putting it into this perspective, let's just say you and a coworker have some beef, right? The beef becomes public within the workspace. Now you have to worry about walking on eggshells around the other coworkers, people possibly banding up against you in the workspace because they favor the person that you were beefing with instead of you, or beefing with a boss. You know, whatever the boss may try to orchestrate in order to get you guys on the same page that may not work, or whatever the case may be. My point of saying that is that there are outside perspectives that are now weighing in on your ability to do your job that may be playing part into how difficult or how easy your job then becomes. Take that situation, multiply that by hundreds, maybe thousands. These are the amounts of opinions and outside opinions that are added into what a streamer goes through. You get a high amount of followers, you not only do you have your followers talking about you or putting in their opinions, you have outside people that are just now getting into your content, or straight strangers, or people that are tied into other parts related to the content that you're now involved in, giving in their 2 cents. Ultimately, we know that it doesn't matter, but considering the fact that this is all entertainment and we live in America where free speech is apparently a thing, it's supposed to be a thing. It's like it plays a part. People can say whatever they want and do whatever they want, and especially with the do whatever they want in terms of speech, but it plays a part in the term, like in the realm of entertainment, because we entertain the individuals, and then based on what the individuals do or what the individuals take liking to, we then know what else to do, what to turn up, what to tone down, what to express, what to add on to, what trends to hop on, things of that nature.
But you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. and get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter what.
Yes, you do.
Anyone who has a 9-to-5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
Well, I'm a college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, bro.
We have to-
You already know what you're doing.
We have to.
He's got a point. Hey, Silky's got a point. You do have a curriculum, buddy. You got guidelines to follow.
Produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting. I
You were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quick scope.
I don't know if
So
that's
I had
something to be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that for 4 years.
See, like, come on, bruh. Like, what are you talking about trick shotting and crane shots for, bruh? Nobody cares about that in
Right?
the real
And I'm
world.
like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years,
Okay.
right?
All right.
And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
When I was
Was it just you? Like
No. It was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
in the
exist,
previous
if
point.
it didn't exist, you couldn't press
So the
play, you
fact-
couldn't press record,
So the fact that
and
you
then
have
just
a,
talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I
Yeah,
also had
have
to
a
spend
campus to
years
teach.
earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. You could
These are the same things. You went to school, meanwhile he went through years of trial and error. Y'all both learned in y'all respective journeys how to do y'all jobs. Y'all understand the credentials of y'all's work. Either way, it's still some of the same stuff. Y'all both worked for the knowledge that you guys have to be able to regurgitate or to be able to put in and reform it into your own special twist, whether it be your own content, your own special way of teaching, how you garner an audience or a classroom, whatever the case may be. Y'all are basically the same
I play
fields.
video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video games. It's okay. We understand.
That's fair. In that case, there might be some jealousy.
Perspective is coming from
A little bit.
hair and makeup artist, physical job. Doesn't seem like any of you guys
A physical job.
can even compete with the
Oh,
physicality.
brother.
You guys just
I know how to do a three-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and talking into a microphone.
know.
is
So-
very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to get up in the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your hair.
Are you familiar with an IRL backpack? Are you familiar with a tripod? That kind of takes care of your argument right there.
Take up all of your supplies. You have to haul it around. Get up early in the morning. You stand on your feet all
Bet.
day. You never sit down.
I hear you, I
You're
hear you.
breathing
Build a
in.
house.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals all day.
All right, can I talk? Can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Dang, bro! Like you've already conveyed your point. You don't have to add on more just to like hijack the conversation.
Listen, bet.
Your
Just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So
your
thing
job
is-
isn't
your thing
physically
is
taxing. You're just talking into a
So
microphone.
bet, listen. So your whole
She
thing.
doesn't get that.
Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No,
physical.
but-
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
Physicality is true. There's physicality in entertainment. If I sit here, go through what you go through on a daily basis, right? You know, as far as the physical tools, right? And then I go on a camera and go through NBA practice just because I want to on stream. Are we gonna sit here and act like that's not like that's not comparable to one or the other? Are we gonna sit here and act like those aren't at least in some way, shape, or form work? Physical wear and tear work. So I feel like the general idea of what they think streaming is just sitting behind a camera, talking into a mic, and just kicking your feet up, wiggling your pinky toes around, your piggies, and just watching the money just rake in. And that's not the case. That might be the case for streamers starting off. You know, that might be the case because a lot of people that are starting off aren't getting paid by streaming unless they've already garnered a fan base from other platforms. But I generally just don't like this idea.
9 to 5 job where you physically have to do some hauling around stuff.
So
and
physically, I physically
you're
can't
just
haul
talking
around
into a mic.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a controller and make a 200K montage. You can't.
man.
No one in here can.
Come on, man.
None of you can.
But you
none
can
of
carry
you-
some, just
none of you
some
could
hair and makeup.
physically
And you have
go
to do that for 12 hours a day.
Yes. Actually, yes.
Streaming is for losers. I don't blame them. Weren't you just streaming yesterday? I could have sworn I got a Twitch notification from you yesterday. Why are you calling yourself a loser? See, here in the Cozy Boys gangland, we uplift each other and we uplift ourselves. Self-deprecation is frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? I need you to take better care of yourself, my brother. All right, now that that's done, let's get back into it.
It's taking 4 days to hit a trick shot. It's taking you 4 days to hit a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have to
Hours
do
a day.
that.
And then your day is never
Yes, I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you have to go shopping and replace
You don't know.
all of the
now
things
it
that
must
you
have been
use?
somebody
No, no.
else.
You have to
Perfect.
clean
Listen,
all of
Vicky,
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You
done.
don't know about if the Elgato wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these
Oh
things?
my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my montage is fucked. Your main underlining argument here is what you do is physically
Daily, day to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and
Yeah.
hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing.
You could say the same thing from a mental standpoint.
You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so
I don't
how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think
How many
any of you
hours
guys
a
ever do.
day do you trick shot? How many hours?
When I was trick shotting, it was 12 hours a day. It was however long I needed to. However
Every
long I
day, 12
needed
hours
to.
a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip.
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 1010. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be
Y'all
in the
left
right
and he's not
spot,
trolling.
throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zone.
Stick drift.
Stick drift.
Thing is, for the most part, but that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical. A lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? You are specifically talking about a specific demographic of content creators, none of which are in this room. None of which are in this room. So if you want to sit here and get on your high horse and start talking about how your job is so much easier or so much harder than someone that's, I don't know, running an ASMR channel, then voice that. You are the only person in this entire video on your side of the coin that has specified what your job is harder than. Because we have IRL streamers that go out and do stuff and go through daily antics, physical, mental, people that farm social parasocial content that have to deal with the mental aspects of everything, or whatever the emotional, all that type of stuff. And then you just have your people that like to talk in the mics, run podcasts, things of that nature. Now if you can sit here and be like, oh, well, I feel like my job, my 9 to 5 is harder than a podcast. Okay, that makes sense. But for you to sit here and take your 9 to 5 and account it to be more physically taxing than all of streaming, that is a very big stretch to make, man.
she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around IRL stream and someone could rob us or kill us.
I gotta.
Wait.
They're laughing. But that's happening.
I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
Crackhead ran up to him on stream and almost
died.
Almost
He
decapitated
quoted
him
his
when he
thoughts.
was-
Okay, I feel like this one might be the most productive. Low key. Between him and Ronaldo.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. I am very occupational. My last job, I worked as a librarian with elementary school children.
So
I have been an executive secretary, legal.
Very quiet, peaceful.
Yes, yes, all that, you know, because it's who you are that you know, we create social media all the time because that's what we are. We're 9-to-5ers and we interact and have energy with people, where I don't think that you guys have that.
We have energy.
Your tone almost had. I thought that you were gonna come in with some nice stuff, but the point you just made was very misinformed. We'll say that. To say that streamers don't have energy or they don't have social skills when they're operating with, you know, tens to hundreds and thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people in the higher cases, is very misinformed.
Are you serious?
You have false energy because you're
False
across the
energy.
screen. You're not interacting with people like we do.
So what are we doing right now?
Interacting?
What are we doing right now?
You're doing it now because we're doing a video.
Wait, isn't she debating for us? That's making it harder for us.
Do you know that there's millions of people?
Now I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video and
Yes.
save lives every
Yes.
day. Probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. There's people that literally stay alive because they want to watch our videos.
You know about going out and to the clubs at night, staying out till 10 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was
to
having
get-
fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
So, but I'm saying is
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
you guys don't do the interaction. You don't touch people like this.
okay. Now
What kind of shit's going on?
Okay. Now we trying to make it about something else. Let that lady talk.
go to the club, you get to put some shades on, and you go by your day to work. We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that
drunk,
your choice?
You're high. You're
But is
hungover.
that
Just
your
get off
choice?
screen. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like you like this. Why are you doing this?
But is that your choice? You chose that. You chose this life.
Just like you chose to go up to that club and stay there till 3 o'clock in the morning. Now you gotta go wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to your job at 6. If we're talking about choices, then we have no point in talking because we are all in this together. We are the sum of our choices and the lack thereof. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? For real.
That's the thing. We can't.
And
can't
that's
do
what's
what you
happening
do.
now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9-to-5, you dealing with people. You touching people's hearts,
We deal with
souls,
people too.
minds.
Oh, you think we just talking to robots or something? We talking to pillows? We over here having a little SpongeBob situation where we're talking about where we're talking to dust bunnies, paper clips, and and pennies. We not talking to people. The only way that somebody ain't talking to somebody during the stream is if there's nobody there, and nobody checks the VOD afterwards. In that case, you're talking to nobody because nobody was there to receive the message. But with all that in consideration, this is an interaction-based occupation. Whether we're doing it actively, like on time, on stream, or people are doing it outside of stream in real life or throughout social media platforms, you're still interacting with people.
No, you are not.
Do you know how many fans we meet a day?
Look, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
Do you
because
watch
I think-
any entertainment?
Oh my God.
Of course I watch
So do
entertainment.
you ever,
I got kids.
wait,
I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever laugh?
Of course I laugh.
So then they
We're
interact with
touching
you.
them.
But the interaction is
Did
not
it make
real.
you feel better?
When I'm watching
did it make you feel better?
Then what make me feel
Have you
better?
ever
It all
watched-
depends on
have you ever been
it all
entertained?
depends- it
Have you
all
ever been
depends
entertained
on
and been like,
what's coming.
oh, I feel good?
Some of it is fake.
right now.
Some of it is fake.
You see, you're not answering.
So
me.
now let me.
Okay, well, let me answer your, because I'm debating him,
Okay, yeah.
but go ahead.
Right after this, I got you. Right
Okay,
now. Go
all
ahead.
right, come on. Let's
So
see.
when you're entertained, have you ever felt like your day was better if you watched something? You've never felt like that?
Yeah, sure.
So what's the difference with us?
The difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Do you know? You just like you. Wait a minute. Somebody made a comment about, oh, I can't even go out with my girlfriend, or I can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I can go out in public and be seen.
So it's
You know what?
easier.
I'm a very social. I'm a very social person. I'm very popular in where I do and where I am. I do social media.
I'm saying what we do has not affected people. It's not real. How come when I go out in public and I meet someone and they're like, oh my God, wait, I loved your videos growing up. You were my childhood. I used to watch you
Or their
every
hands
single
shaking,
day.
their hands shaking.
Like, you were my child. You know how like we grew up watching Disney Channel?
Yep.
I've had kids
Ben
come
10.
up hundreds of times throughout years of my life, have kids come up to me and say these things. So
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't the most productive.
Robbie, I'm a server at an Italian restaurant.
Come on, bro. Life's easy.
Oh, that's not fair.
He has the same menu, makes the same food every day.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna say being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the
My
most
mom
difficult
was.
shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like
No,
that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect
She
your
loves
mom
it.
and say that your work is harder?
She tells
That
me
is
it's
so rude,
Nigga,
honestly.
She works 2 of them.
Okay,
She works at 2 hospitals.
Let me ask you something.
She said it's mad easy. She can work at 2 hospitals.
No disrespect, but what you
Like if he says that, you can't say anything. You can't say like, okay, I'ma shut up, cause
I'm not your target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said. You don't watch me because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
He has to get judged every
I gotta get
single
judged every day. Everybody thinks I'm a hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
He's a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got taxed. I used to work at Costco's. I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm gonna be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Okay.
I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
Yeah, Will.
Come on, bro.
Is what you do fun?
I mean,
Do you enjoy what you do?
if I make it fun,
Do you make it fun?
I could make it fun.
Yes or no, is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day? We'll swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's very stressful, right?
okay, look, see. At this point, I already know that he's about to start trolling.
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous, I'm not gonna lie.
What is this?
Okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that was sarcasm. You didn't read it. No, I'd like to.
Okay, yeah. He kind of caught you. What you gotta say, Mo? What do you gotta say about this? Because it's obvious that these folks done pissed you off a little bit.
No, listen to the time that I wake up. I wake up maybe 3, 4 p.m. Know what I'm saying? I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke? Because I just deal with thousands of people. I don't even like people. I gotta deal with thousands of them.
No, let him.
No, let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done on the smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Okay, waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now wake up. I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, cause I got a lot of comments. Now, you know, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure that my yeah.
He's got Chanel earrings like a bad bitch.
And there's girls in his chat too sometimes. So,
Yeah.
you know.
This, you know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm freshly saving. I'm not saving for this video. I already know what's gonna happen. It's about to be negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit off your face. It's cool.
So
right?
he got fat.
Now I have to gain Marvel Rivals.
Boom. You just said probably the most important thing about this video. None of this matters. At the end of the day, you still gonna have to go to that 9 to 5, or you still gonna have to boot up that stream. You gonna have to do whatever you gotta do in order to make your next paycheck. It doesn't matter about which one is more difficult. The only person that it should matter to is how much you find each one to be difficult in relation to you. At that point, if you find which one is easier to do, you should pursue that. Considering if you have time to do so. I'm not sitting here saying that you should quit your 9 to 5 if you got 7 kids in a 2-bedroom household to start your streaming career. I'm not saying that. But if you have the time and you have the, you know what I'm saying? And you have the space to do so, you should do whatever you find to be easiest for you that should allow you to make money in a way that you desire to. Now, for those of y'all that got really deep into this conversation, I will agree with my boy Bone right here. Indeed is open. You can look for jobs there. Because obviously you're too deep into this. Either that or you need to boot upstream. Grab up a couple more parasocials such as yourself and then get to work. Turn that into some guap. Some money, if you will. They should for sure quit. Okay. Okay. See, me and you we're kind of on the same page, and then you said that. Thank you for making me feel stupid for siding with you for once.
But probably 1 to 2 hours before stream. You know why? Because I don't get to game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro. I can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do that, right? After I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody what I'm gonna do for the stream today. Oh, looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we could just scrub something around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m., I'm still probably thinking I gotta do something for stream. My mind is fried.
Do you know what's crazy?
My mind is...
8, 9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work
He
today.
already did
I did my work today.
He took the same boss already.
You're going to sleep.
What?
I don't want to hog the space here too much, but
No.
do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
He'll hang himself? Yeah.
He'll kill
No,
himself?
I don't know this.
I probably shouldn't have finished that considering that I'm recording this for YouTube. Guys, it was just a figure of speech. It's a popular figure of speech that was being expressed, and I was just finishing the line. In no way, shape, or form is anything related to me or me personally going around encouraging that by finishing that phrase. It was just finishing a phrase, similar to how someone will finish a lyric in a song. No realism behind it. No sharing of opinion, just a simple look, bro. Like it's already very early in my content creation career. Like if you're gonna try to knock me off of this, you're not gonna be knocking off much, bro. For real, bro. Like to let me live. You should understand that what I was just saying wasn't for no crazy reason. Nor was I encouraging or anything crazy like that. You should just let me live. All right, YouTube, Twitch, we good? We good? We here? Love y'all. Let's get to the vid.
I don't know.
Basically, you're talking yourself into a hole, man. Okay, my turn. I'll be brief.
Wait, give a man a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
it means,
is that racist?
Okay, yeah, I feel like you're kind of race farming, Silky. You're making some stretches. He was only talking about the fact that you were talking yourself in a hole, which honestly, I can see where he was coming from. You weren't making enough of a point towards how difficult your job is mentally, and then going into how your job is difficult mentally. You should have put him in a different mental space in order to address the things that you're talking about. But hey.
Wow.
Get this racist out of here! He has no social cues.
Right.
Oh, you're back?
Babe, I want to just say to you.
Rhonda.
I'm your black auntie.
Yeah,
That's what I want to say. You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So when you say shit like that, do you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You said,
I'm an introvert. I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
And that's okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't like it when that lady. I don't like it when that old lady in the back laugh. I don't. Because I feel like I'm being judged. I feel like I'm being judged, and I don't like it. Because I didn't do anything to get judged right now. Why are you laughing? And I ain't saying nothing funny. I'm not Kevin Hart. Trying to impress somebody right now is giving anybody the giggles. Why are you laughing? There's nothing funny right now.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
He's a hero.
I'm a superhero, no cape.
I'm a superhero, no cape. Not no cap, no cape. Yeah, Jace. Yeah, Jace.
You look great. You look
That's
great.
right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is harder. I mean, fuck.
Floridian flip. Floridian flip. Video over.
Dreaming is so much harder. Why are you doing it?
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye and how they judge my relationships. I had a breakup with a girlfriend that I loved so dearly because I chose streaming.
So my question.
Nah, I loved her.
My question.
I loved her, and you're laughing.
You know what? Talk your talk, Jason.
My
Talk
question
about
again,
it. Talk
my
about it.
question.
Because she's evil.
Think it's
I don't
so
like this
Why are
lady.
you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
Okay, so you love it. You love streaming. So do you love it more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide.
Oh.
I had to make sacrifice, and
So
that's
you-
what you have to
so
do.
you lost
with
the
streaming.
human touch.
But guess what? If I had a 9 to 5,
lost the human
if I
touch
was flipping burgers,
for-
I could have had a girlfriend still.
But you lost the human touch for the streaming.
Being a streamer, you have to be judged.
What are you saying wow for? What are you saying wow for? That's like... Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Me and this old lady might have beef. Because you are making the slight comments, the eureka moments, it just seems like a lot of fake stuff going on right now. And I don't like how this old lady act. She doing a lot to make my neck itch.
Thousands on thousands of people's opinions every single day. 9 to 5 person, maybe one,
But,
2, 3.
okay, and then back to my point. Is that your choice? Was that your choice?
But that's not the point, though. The point
No,
is
that's my point. That's my point.
streaming is harder
Was
than 9 to 5.
that
That's the point.
you gave up your girlfriend for streaming? Come on now.
Shit, he ran up a bag. He ran up a bag.
Yeah, they... But still though, like, you acting like nobody ever gave up their relationship to work a 9 to 5. Nobody gave up their relationship to go to the military. Nobody gave up there's more things that people have given up more for like less. And obviously that less is subjective. But are we being for real right now? Like, in all honesty, like, just because he broke up with his girlfriend because he wanted to stream, honestly, like, that has nothing to do with the difficulty of a 9 to 5 in comparison.
The thing is, it comes to a point. Do I pick love and a future with someone I care dearly for? Or do I pick
something that I
future
love?
Something that I'm passionate about and motion. I pick motion.
Yeah.
I'm Lala Costa.
Lala Costa? Yes. Amazing name.
Thank you. I'm an attorney.
She makes a percent off people's fuck ups. I like that.
If you had an opportunity to get a 9 to 5, that you could create yourself, like whatever you want,
Yes,
9
I
to
would.
5, you would take it?
Yes.
Because why?
Because I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
You don't? What? Come to this side.
No, but I have to because this is what I built my career off of. I started.
You feel stuck.
I feel stuck. Yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and you stopped watching it? Have you ever watched a show and you were like,
All the time.
it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to.
That TV show can't. It's done. What happens to all those actors?
It's
after that?
canceled
They gotta
because I
go to-
stopped watching?
Well, no. I'm saying if
Baby,
thousands of you
Honey,
stop watching.
I think you guys are mixing all
Yeah,
the issues.
Cartoon Network. It's like
and
they
not
got millions of
focusing
people.
on-
You guys know what Cartoon Network is?
If your
It's
father
gone.
would stop, would you come up with a different brand then?
All those people are gone. Yeah, but pivot. That's the point.
Bro, that was an attorney. That was probably the most qualified person to have an argument with in terms of that conversation or whatever. And we barely got like 2 minutes with her. Bro, I thought she was gonna try to cook for him.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a professional model, but
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14.
Okay.
I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think streaming does take a certain more stop than a 9 to 5, and I also think everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do,
You get L's in your chat.
the probability of everybody here trying to be an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is just got lucky because you're a gamer. You got lucky. There are so many people like you
I was
out
talented.
there.
It wasn't
These
pure
days,
luck.
everybody's an influencer. Come on.
No. But
So many.
no. But
Okay. Like, I was trying to give you leeway there, but now you're trying to make it seem like it was kind of like it doesn't require any work in order to get to where they are, which I feel like it obviously does, but.
Specifically, what I do, I'm not posting selfies around the world. It's basically all pure talent.
Wait,
Okay.
Can I just why is he lucky? Why do we all get lucky though?
What is your talent?
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player, like actual like.
So you were sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I
camera.
was 16, so it wasn't really like
yeah,
that.
You weren't really thinking of what should I do with my life? Like, what should I study? What should I like? Where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's just.
Ma'am, I'm not sure you're in the position to be saying things like that, considering that you work as a professional model. You get paid because you look good in clothes. You get brand deals because you have a flattering figure with their catalog of clothing. Depending on your following and things of that nature, you influence a demographic that is needed for a company's like thriving. So you can't sit here and talk about how they don't have a talent when apparently the thing that you use for your money is physically given to you, otherwise manufactured. The only way that your work can pan out in that case is if you were to go to the gym.
He's determined. He knows that's the only route.
He didn't get lucky. He put in hours.
Yeah, no.
That's what we do too. We go to
it
school,
wasn't
we
luck.
study.
Everybody's a little bit of luck. I think people who don't have a job, they feel they want to get lucky.
And I might be misinformed in the topic as well. But are there people that go to school for modeling? Like, is there a school for models, or like a models academy of some sort?
By getting a job. So I think people even having a job is some sort of luck.
He said, how many people of us could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck? If 1 out of a million, that one has to be the best. So how are you going to dismiss all his hard work and all of his talent?
Is he the best?
I got four last year. No. Let me get my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is the game that I play.
Okay.
I got 4th. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
And you're telling him
so that's not luck. That's
like
pure
less than
that's pure
1%.
skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is LeBron James lucky?
Yes.
Are they lucky?
I mean,
No, they
they have a talent. They have a talent. But
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this because it doesn't make sense. You can call them lucky. You can say, hey, luck plays a part in all of this because of all the variables that ultimately these people did not have control over. But you can't sit here and not acknowledge that they are actually skilled in their respective capacities. There's no way that you can let that happen.
So what
you know how many talented people out there and don't get the chance, they don't get the shot at it?
I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, you're not saying that luck doesn't have anything to do with it, but at this point, it feels like you're diminishing his talent because of how quote unquote lucky he is.
So he's not talented?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not at
Okay,
all.
okay.
No.
What he did
I
to get
said
to where
a
he
lot
is-
of people are talented don't get the shot to do what he does.
I heard people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA.
But I didn't even get a shot. It was, well, I did it off the strength of me. You know, there was no one who gave me a shot or anything like that. I simply was just, you dead us?
Yo,
Like, what's up with all this extra laughing, this hee hee ha ha? Like, nobody said anything funny.
Why you laughing?
Why they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 of those I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job, and still went to school.
And yeah,
So that's not. I mean, if that's fucking,
stand on it, stand on it.
if that's luck,
Where's the luck at in that equation?
Again.
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job, we're lucky in some sort of way. But
God bless.
off of specific pure talent. And I worked on that since I was 16.
Again, I work with many talented people. I'm not saying about you. I'm
Yeah.
just talking in general. And there's so many people that are very talented never get a shot because they don't do the right thing. They don't go the right path. They don't meet the right people. So there are so many even talented actors here. They never get a shot. So I'm just saying it's pure luck.
It wasn't luck. I just saw.
If you get lucky with an opportunity, you still have to have the talent to take advantage of the opportunity.
An opportunity and
I'm
just
gonna
genuinely
shut up.
took it.
I'm gonna shut up.
It wasn't a handout. It was simply just, you know what, I'm talented at Call of Duty. This is what I want to do. It took me 8 years to make it a career. Is there something funny?
It's a freaking video game.
It's a talent.
And this is where I have a problem with this old lady. Thank you. Somebody allowed this woman to talk in the midst of her having a little fit or laughing about it. Because they don't, it's just plain and simple. She doesn't see your work as actual work. From her eyes, you get paid doing nothing. Like, and I understand from like a parent's point of view or an older person's point of view that, you know, if you're not getting paid in the normal ways that I'm aware of, like a blue collar job, a regular old 9 to 5, a professional athlete, a musician, like a visual artist, then there are not that many other jobs in the world to get paid off of. One, that's very stupid thinking. That is very stupid thinking. If there are no other ways to make money other than the ways you just listed, then we as a people have done something wrong. Either with the evolution of our technology, the evolution as us as a people, socially, whatever the case may be, or just in general. We should be able to make more jobs the more our society builds on itself. It's because them old niggas can't fathom that they're making more bread from a game than they did working 20 plus years. Look, he just said the same thing that I'm saying, but way more disrespectful. That it sounds like. It's like she just getting mad because this is a whole, like, these people are making money playing video games and chatting and talking and yapping. But, like, I guess some of these same people were mad at professional athletes. Oh, there's no way you should be making that much money playing basketball. It's just a game. It's just a sport. You get paid doing the same thing that I do once I get off of work and I go to the YMCA. But I'm better than you. And I'm better than a lot of the plumber homeboys that you be hooping with too. That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why these people are getting paid the big bucks. If you do anything to a high degree, whether it's painting, streaming, gaming, running, singing, dancing, whatever the case may be, if there is an audience for it, if there is a demographic for it, you should be able to get paid for it. If they could play games and make money during their time, they would have sure did it. Exactly, because that seems like an easy way to make money. Anything that anybody does in order to make money has caveats to it. We're not going to sit here and act like there's a perfect job in the world where you can just sit here, do the job, and not have to go through any risks of any kind. Because streamers have to go through a lot of mental warfare, a lot of emotional warfare, just to do the things that they do at as high of a level as they do it. Just like 9-to-5 people have to go through the mental warfare and the physical warfare that may be involved in doing something that you don't want to do, or dealing with people that you don't want to deal with. And notice how the things that I just said can also be applied to streaming. You feel me? So like, I don't understand why this old lady's just been hating on these folks from the get-go. From the get-go, just being a straight dickhead. For what? For what? Like, it's just the game, but I'm getting paid off of it. You're just getting mad because your job doesn't allow you the rest that I quote-unquote have. Just because I'm sitting my butt in the comfort of my own home, streaming to hundreds of thousands of people, X, Y, and Z, doesn't mean that I'm comfortable doing this. At some point, the money allows you to put up with the discomfort associated with the work. You should know all about that because you work a 9-to-5. Anybody with a job should be able to understand that concept. But anyways, let me get up off this yeah.
In a dick ride? Hey, he's made 10
Video game.
it's a talent. Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly, that's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though.
I quit. There is no way that you're going to sit here and tell me, oh, that's that privilege. Oh, you're privileged because you can make millions of dollars playing video games. That's just a privilege. Yo, 9-to-5 ain't a privilege, man. Somehow somebody doing that is privileged. Somehow somebody doing that is privileged because they make a whole bunch of money doing it. But you making your money and your job ain't a privilege of its own. This is what I'm talking about. People saying that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a privilege is different from a blessing. What you're saying right now is that you being able to make millions of dollars off of gaming is a blessing. You're not privileged to do so. That is a blessing. You being privileged to play the game, you being privileged to have Wi-Fi, that's a privilege. That's a privilege. You being blessed with a job, that is a blessing. That's not necessarily a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back. A job can be a privilege. You can be privileged with a job. You can be privileged with a job. But one job doesn't make one job ain't more privileged than the other. If you're just talking about being employed. These folks starting to get on my nerves, bruh. These folks are really starting to get on my nerves. They done made me restart the video and stuff, bruh. Like, these old heads, bruh.
It's a freaking video game.
It's a talent. Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars. Hop on it. Your son's grandkids couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many
They
hours
can't.
a day did you spend?
When I was younger?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Oh, I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again. I was 16. What's funny?
See, there's a disconnect here, because to you guys, when you guys were growing up, yes, it was just video games, it was whatever. But when we were coming up, we're like, wait, maybe we can make this career. Maybe if we get good enough at it and we create.
Do you not
good
think?
enough
Do you not
content,
think if you're talented at something, it's a God-given gift?
Video games is not like...
You don't think you don't think it's talent.
You're just too old to understand.
That's I can't argue that because
Y'all could never
I gotta
play
keep it a-
FNCS either. It's
I
the
gotta
same
keep
shit.
it a buck. There's a disconnect.
Same
You
shit.
come from a generation where this didn't exist. This career, you looked at this career and you laughed. Now, how come in colleges they're teaching courses on content creation and esports?
Oh.
When you grew up, this didn't exist. So no wonder you're gonna laugh when you hear this shit, because you're from a completely different generation. You just don't get it, and I don't know if you ever will be able to wrap your head around it.
Oh.
And it's fun. But it's like,
And that's
again, it's
okay.
Oh, you gotta
That's
fight
fun.
back.
That's
You gotta
okay.
fight back. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, Brian is over here instigating. Brian is instigating. It is funny.
I'm Ronnie.
Ronnie, that's
This
What's up?
past-
My name's Ronnie.
You were talking about job security. Are you familiar with layoffs, with being furloughed? Like, taking
We
it back
fall
to...
off.
That's being... What? What does that even mean?
You lose everything. Every dollar.
lose
Everything. You lose everything.
Okay, and then you can rebuild yourself back. You
The same way
reinvent-
you can do if you get laid off. You get a
Yeah,
new
that's
job.
it's kind
okay.
of is it not the same concept? Like
I don't know. Back in 2020, when everybody was getting furloughed, everybody was like, "Oh, let me go to social media." That's kind of an easy alternative. So that seems kind of easy.
I know,
And
but
How many of those people are still doing content creation today? So obviously it wasn't that easy. It was easy to get into, but it wasn't that easy to maintain. And it pretty much it most definitely wasn't easy to build.
But I know, but if you lose a job, you
You
can't.
just get another
No,
one?
you can search for. You have an opportunity to search for another one. No?
Okay, I've been searching for another one for 10 months. I interview every day, give the same spiel, have to give that smile of walking through my resume.
I uploaded videos for 7 years and barely got any views.
And did you you uploaded 7 videos and didn't get any views?
Went to school, and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still worked. I worked.
Oh, so that you had another job?
As a parking attendant, yes.
Okay, and was that harder
Then what?
than streaming?
No, I was on my phone all the time.
Oh, as a parking attendant, that doesn't sound like you were doing a very good job.
I was chilling.
You were chilling. You were good at your job.
Waiting for.
You're acting as if there's a whole bunch of like workload that comes into being a parking. Okay. If we gonna sit here and act fake and act like everybody that works a 9 to 5 is on their job 100% of the time, then okay, you do that, and you be the only person in the world that does that. Good for you.
First park, they're done. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Well,
I'm not security.
That's
I just
a
go.
one 9
I go
to
like this. I
5.
go like this. Yo, right there. I bet. Do you think an aspect of a video game, playing video games, is a talent?
I would say it's a skill. I wouldn't call it a talent. You can master it with,
Ooh, But people millions play video games, but there are very few people who are genuinely gifted at it.
Gifted? What are they, Mozart?
How is it not a talent? Why is it not a talent what he does?
You know what? I'm open to it being a talent. I think it's a skill. I think it's something you can master. I don't think you're a Mozart that you have this gift of like, whoa, when I put my thumb here and this thumb there and do this combo, I do this
You'd be
flip.
surprised. I mean, there's people out there who are genuinely
They have their opposable thumbs like so good.
That's like saying, here's a paintbrush, go paint me Picasso. Yeah,
That's
like
what
what?
I'm saying this is so hard. If there's certain games that have $1 million prize pools, if there's a skill you could just learn and you're looking for a job for 10 months, go pick up a controller and go hop in this $1 million tournament and win it.
You
couldn't.
couldn't.
Perhaps.
You couldn't. You couldn't.
Perhaps.
You wouldn't even. You couldn't. You couldn't.
You wouldn't qualify.
You couldn't.
What do you mean I wouldn't
You can't even find your OBS stream key. Stop playing.
I need to work for it,
I know,
but
so like, but you're dismissing what he does. You're just dismissing like,
I'm not
oh, it's
dismissing. I'm saying
here's what we call progression, right? We just had the model that was saying that, okay, this dude is very lucky in what he does. It's not as, yeah, he can have talent, but it's more so luck than anything. And now we're saying that, okay, it's a skill, there is luck involved, but he can be skilled at it, but it's not necessarily a talent. In my humble opinion, if there is an area where somebody can be skilled at something, there's something there in that same vein, somebody can be talented in it. Because all skill has to do with is the amount of work that has been put into something in order to make something good. If I'm skilled at it, that means that I can do it at a very at a very high level relative to whatever capacity that I'm in doing that. If you're gifted or if you're talented in it, that means that you're very good at what that thing is compared to the amount of time that you spent trying to hone that skill or trying to work on that. That's what being naturally gifted is. That's what being talented in something is.
Saying
It's
that's
not a
easy.
skill. It's not a talent.
I
Like,
said it's a skill.
it's
I didn't
easy.
say it's a talent. I said it's a skill. It's a skill that
But
you
how
can
do you
hone and
how do you
can
know
master.
how do you know if it's easy if you haven't done it? Like if you
I've
don't.
played Mario Kart. I've played other games.
I want to see how you play Mario Kart.
Not a professional level though.
No, not a professional level because that's not what I'm trying to pursue.
I know, but you don't understand what it takes to be on that sort of level. So how can you try to dismiss it and say it's yours is harder? How do you know?
What does it take to be on that
Because
level?
I've worked at 9 to 5.
Yeah. What
so
does it take to be on that level?
Just gift, and you got to play all
Just
the time.
gift?
Tens of thousands of hours of work
Uh-huh.
and editing and filming and constantly
I'm just
having
talking
to
about pure
innovate
skill.
and
As far as like the
reinvent
videos and stuff like that, just off pure skill.
I had
you
to
did-
put tens of thousands of hours
Could you get a
into my
refresh second
studies.
zone tarping? Could you?
I have no idea what you said.
Could you get a refresh going into second zone with no mats? Can you get a refresh on the best players? You
I
couldn't.
can also put I can circle back and give
Do
you
you know how to
different
short
terms
launch pad?
from
When
my
you're trying to get to third
industries.
zone, third moving. Do you know
I
how to
don't
short?
No,
launch
I
pad?
don't. But if I
Exactly,
want,
you couldn't, but Excel sheet? You can do Excel sheet.
no, but exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
They're just talking game.
These
As
refreshes
a
don't come to
babysitter,
you.
I can talk to you about the different things I do and ask you, could you do that? No, but if you wanted to, you would.
If us four
Put on brace.
took 3 days, you don't think we can master an Excel sheet?
Oh,
But let me give you, if I give you 3 days about a video game, do you think you could be that talented as me?
if I wanted to, I would.
So let's give you, so let's pay for her, whatever it is. Give you 3
please.
days, but if you lose, you got to give us it back in double.
No.
Hey, no.
That's not how
what
the job works.
happened?
You pay me, I'll get the job done.
I would say, in a sense, yes, because you have to put in the work and you got to be on 24/7.
It's difficult to answer that question for us, I think, because we didn't come up in this time frame in this era. So technology is totally different now, because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with chalk. I appreciate and respect what they do, and I think that's the consensus for most of us, that we appreciate and respect where they are. But it's not, what we did was, we just feel like what we did was harder. And that's what I think.
So my mind was.
You talking about the lady talking right now, Bone? Because I ain't gonna lie, I thought she was spitting. You talking about she off a pack? Or you talking about old girl that was just in the table?
Change in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
All right. Okay. Y'all, if y'all enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. And let y'all friends, y'all homies, shoot, even some of y'all family members, let them know that this channel exists. You know what I'm saying? Go to the description below. Check up on all my socials. Also, check the gaming channel, the main gaming channel. We do gaming stuff over there. Very, very entertaining content. Now, let me go ahead and shut up about this. right?